Well, how's it going, guys? Welcome to um another live stream. It's been a little bit. I think I've last live streamed. I think it was a month ago, so it's been quite a while. I didn't know if you guys knew, but I have a sports channel as well, so that's kind of why it kind of took forever for me to um stream again. Posting a lot on my sports channels and all that. Football season's approaching, so but here we are. Talk about whatever, like I said, just and I just want to say this right now because in the last few days, I believe, I think on the Night Watches live stream and also um, the Night Watches stream and also um, Popping the Popcorn, I believe her name is. I was on their streams and there was just like some trolls in the comments. So I just want to let you all know, anybody that's gonna troll, I'm gonna time you out, plain and simple, because I don't want anybody to be trolling in the comments. I want everybody to get along and have a good time with each other, and this is what this is about. We're here to have a good time, with each other. Um, I think his name is Scott Walker. I believe that was trolling, I guess, and the other video, I guess, and or the live streams. So if I see him, like I said, I'll let him know, But I don't think he's gonna be. If he does pop in, I'm gonna let him know because I don't allow trolls in here. Like I said, I want everybody to have a good time. I try to, I want everybody to have a good time. We can't be stalking people. You can't. We're just here to theorize and all that and have fun. So I just wanted to make that known so that all that that there's no trolls gonna be allowed to be coming in my stream today because we're here to have a good time. We're not here to ruin anybody's day. We're not here to do any of that. So I want I want everybody to know that because it seems like as of late, everybody's, I guess, there's been a lot of trolls and a lot of people's chats, including Nightwatch and like Craven's. Well, I don't know about Craven streams, but I think I had a troll in my stream the last time I streamed, and it was some random person that I didn't know on here. So I just blocked him automatically because he was trolling. So, yeah, wait for some people to get in here, and we'll get into the topic here. As you guys know, there has been some kind of sort of like some news, I guess, somewhat about Nev Campbell possibly coming back to Scream 7. So, been some kind of news. Doesn't really confirm that she's coming back, but it's kind of like a hint, somewhat. I guess that she's basically I've heard stories that she's basically trying to negotiate um, with Paramount. So let's see. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it real quick. Mm, okay, so in this article here, it says Nat Campbell could always return to the Scream franchise, says producer. Scream VI may have been a success without Neve Campbell, but its producer says Sidney Prescott can still come back to the franchise. Neve Campbell's absence from Scream 6 did not hurt the horror franchise in the way many believed it would, with the film doing pretty well without an appearance by Sidney Prescott. That doesn't mean that there isn't a way for her to return to the series in the future. As producer William Sherrick believes that there is always a place for Sydney in any Scream story. The original plans for Scream VI would have been Campbell reprising her role once again alongside fellow franchise veteran Courtney Cox, who plays Gil Weathers. However, following a reported pay dispute, Campbell decided to drop out of the latest installment of the Wes Craven created slasher movie series. At the time, she said, I did not feel that what I was being offered equated to the value that I was being that I bring to this franchise, and had brought this had brought to this franchise for 25 years. And as a woman in this business, I think it's really important for us to be valued and to fight to be valued. I honestly don't believe that if I were a man and had done 5 installments of a huge blockbuster franchise over 25 years, that the number that I was offered would be the number that would be offered to a man. Although the success of Scream VI suggests that franchise doesn't necessarily need its former lead star, Sherrick recently told comicbook.com that they will always be a place for Campbell's Sydney in any story within the Scream universe. So that's basically the article that I'm reading right now. So it basically says, like I said, it says that they're basically there's still a lot of room. You know, they obviously still thinking about it, right? Um, and I actually heard that they're actually trying to negotiate, or she's trying to negotiate. And I love that. Well, I love what Nat Campbell said here. You know, you have to. She's gave her. She's been in this franchise for 25 years. She's been in 5 movies, and she doesn't feel that she's valued. You know, she's got every right. You know, she's got every right to do what she did, because I would do that too. If I gave my life to a franchise for the last 25 years and I don't get paid what I'm worth, you best believe I'm not going to be in that movie. You know, I'll have my, she has her reasonings, and I don't blame her at all. I mean, she's worth more than half of those actresses on that all those actresses, along with obviously Courtney Cox. I'm gonna see what Nev Campbell's net worth is right now because I'm pretty sure she's worth quite a bit. Okay, her net worth is 10 million. 10 million, dude. 10 million. I mean, come on. And then Courtney Cox obviously is probably up there as well because she's obviously, she did Friends and all that as well. So she's, see here, Courtney Cox net worth. Courtney Cox's net worth is 150 million. So yeah, I mean still though, Nev Campbell gave her life to this franchise, She's been in this franchise for the last 25 years. So I think that's pretty damn crazy that they didn't pay her what she's worth, but and a lot of people, a lot of actors, a lot of actresses, and a lot of other actors are actually pretty upset about it. They've been very, very like vocal about it. But Matthew Lillard is pretty upset about it. Everybody is. Because nobody should be. Paramount shouldn't have did that. They should have just gave her money and. But it looks like there's a lot of there's a lot of rumors that she may come back. So, and I've always said that it's possible. For especially the trilogy. But I honestly believe, okay? I honestly believe that hold up. Well, I honestly believe, I don't know if y'all can hear me right now. I just realized that I was probably muted half the time. Okay, never mind. No, I can hear myself. I was just making sure that y'all could hear me because for some reason that my volume thing was down. But yeah, like I'm just very upset by these people. These people. Nev Campbell's got every right to do what she did. Like I said, she's been in the movie since the first Scream movie. Like, and never Wes Craven. Wes Craven would be rolling in his grave right now if he would, if he was still around. I'm just telling you right now, Wes Craven would have never did that. Like, DJ God, how you doing, man? Thank you for popping in. We're basically just going over the whole Nev Campbell uh, possible return to Scream 7. Um, I just read like an article about it, just kind of hinting at it that Radio Silence is still open for her to return if she feels like she wants to, of course. Um, and it's not Radio Silence's fault, I don't think, because I think it's more Paramount. I think it's more Paramount's fault, because they allowed that to happen. Well, because they basically have control of the money, and I think it's more their fault than it's not Radio Silence. I think it's Paramount, the people that takes care of the money and all that. Like, I personally think she's coming back. Yeah, I've been saying it too. I've been thinking that then she could come back still, even if it's just like I said for like a little cameo or something. But I don't really think I want a cameo. I want her to be in the whole movie. Same with Mark Kincaid. I know I made a video, or I didn't make a video. I was gonna make a video, but I know I said about Mark Kincaid that I said that basically I wanted him to return, but wanted him just to be in a cameo. But I kind of take that back now because I'd much rather him have a bigger role. Because what's the point of him coming back if he's just going to be in a cameo? He's just going to be in the movie for like 5 seconds and that's it. So I'd much rather him, I guess, be a part of the movie as long as he survives and all that. They don't kill him off. I'd be okay with it. I want Mark to return. Yep, I do too. And they also said that it's open for him to return too. Radio Silence has said that. So I don't know. It's quite possible. If they're saying that he's it's open for him to come back as well. Sounds to me that could happen. Depends on, I guess, if he wants to come back, and if he's not too busy with other projects at the time, at this time, in the Screen fan field called Screen Wide and Live that has Ghostface track down the location of their kids and attack police. Wow. Now I've heard a lot of theories about that happening, possibly, with the whole Stu thing. A lot of people are saying that that's a possibility, that maybe Stu theoretically, attacks, Sydney's kids or something. And maybe like kidnaps him. Or like, the cult or something, the cult kidnaps the kids and then Sydney has to go try to get him and all that, and Mark Kincaid. But yeah, I've heard about that theory, and I quite frankly don't like it. But that's just personally my opinion. Um, but yeah, I was just going over, like I said, the whole Sydney thing, the whole, them basically hinting at, Mark Kincaid's possible return, As long as they don't kill him, as long as they keep him alive, I'm okay with him being in the movie. Okay. If they kill him, that's going to be a problem for me. I really don't want them to kill him. I'd much rather him be in the movie and survive, like in Scream 3. Like maybe he could get like, yeah, maybe he'll get a little hurt, but I wouldn't be against if yeah. I mean, yeah, if it was executed properly, I guess I wouldn't mind it because yeah, that does kind of fits a little bit with the whole cult, and the Stu thing. So yeah, I do agree with that. Maybe if it does work, if it doesn't work though, I don't. I think it can. I think it can work though. I agree with that. That'd be a way for that's how Mark and Kate I think will get involved, and maybe that's what happens. Maybe, like I said, maybe the Stu cult kidnaps Sydney's kids, and then Mark and Kate has to go track him down and all this and that, and then to the end, all the way to the end, and they end up finding him or whatever, and then Stu's revealed. There you go, and that's how you could do it. Definitely want to see a cult. Yeah, I do too, and I think that we're getting a cult. Honestly, I think the cult. There was a cult in Scream 6, and obviously in Scream 5. There was multiple killers. I think. Oh, um, yeah. Whether if it's Stu, rather if it's Stu or not, I really do think that there is going to be. I feel like that there's a build up to Stu's return. I don't know 100%, but I definitely think that Stu's return, that they're hinting at Stu's return, in a lot of ways. Doesn't mean it's going to happen though. It could be very well something else and somebody else that we don't know, you know, and maybe we just are dreaming too much. I guess I don't know. I hope not. I hope it's true because if Scream 7 comes around and it's not him, I'm gonna be disappointed. So that's why I'm not really getting my hopes up, about Stu quite yet because I don't really know 100%, if he's gonna come back. Like I don't know 100% yet. So because I don't want to like get my hopes up and then have him not show up. Be like, oh, he is gonna return, but then he doesn't. Then it's somebody else, somebody that we don't know, and then so that's why I'm not really getting my hopes up. But it seems that that's where they're going. Um, Matthew Lillard has said many times, that he wants to come back. So I think it's very very possible um, that he could come back still, man. But this is the only time to do it. You can't do it any other way after that. You can't. This is the trilogy, and it's only going to work for this movie. This movie right here, Scream 7, because this is the trilogy, and I don't think it's going to work in Scream 8 or Scream 9 or anything. And if they don't bring him back, well, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen. The only way it happens after that is if they do it like in a TV show, in the TV series or something. And that's basically it. Like they're not going to bring him back at that point after If they don't bring him back in Scream 7, I don't think they're gonna bring him back at all. Like, I mean, they could, like I said, they could bring him back in the TV series, but I don't really want to see that. Like, I don't really mind it, but at the same time, I'd much rather him come back to a real film, you know, instead of a TV show and all that. Because a TV show is just like, I don't really know, man. It's like it's not the real movie. It's just like a TV show, and it's not. Um, it's just like a series, you know. It's not the real, like the actual real movie. The feeling that you get with the real when you watch the real movies, you know. I don't know. That's just the way I feel. Just finished most of the casting in my Screen fan film. Oh, nice. Yeah, you told me that you're actually making a Screen fan film. Didn't you say you're making a Halloween one as well? I don't remember. Man, looking forward to that. I'm 50-50 on whether I want to sooner or later. Yeah, me too. It's 50-50 for me. It could go either way. It could either be that he does return or he doesn't. I mean, it's either or. And if he doesn't return, well, I think they missed a big opportunity. But am I gonna be get mad and walk out of the theater? I don't know about all that. I'll be disappointed though, because like I said, I'd much rather him return into an actual movie other than the TV series. Because a lot of people were talking about, well, how come? How about have him return the TV series over the. I mean, yeah, that's cool and all, but at the same time, it's not the same. It's not the same feeling as a real movie. Like, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to your Scream fan film. I heard you actually telling me that. But yeah, I mean, this whole Stu thing is just really getting interesting. I mean, we haven't seen him. The original plan was for him to return. He was supposed to return in Scream 3, but then obviously that got he returned in Scream 3, and that was basically the plan was that they were going to bring him back. He was going to get revealed as a killer or whatever, and he was going to get revenge on Sydney. But they decided not to do it because of the Combine shooting. So that's the real reason why they didn't do it. And a lot of Stu haters say, well, you know, they didn't want to bring him back because they didn't like that idea. It's not because they didn't like the idea. It's because of the Combine shooting stopped them from bringing him back. If the Combine shooting didn't happen, I think we would have gotten him 100%. Like, there's no way for me to believe that, they would have still kept him out, even if there was no Combine shooting. I mean, I still think that, they would have done it 100%. But it's kind of unfortunate that we didn't get it and that happened. But hopefully, like I said, it could still happen. I think it could still happen with these new directors. It's just got to be executed right. Um, yep. Also working on a Halloween fan film as well called Halloween Retribution, which is a direct sequel to Halloween Resurrection, set a year later. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. I'm looking forward to that as well. By the way, I love Resurrection. Resurrection to me is probably the most underrated film out of all the Halloween films. H2O is great as well. Um, but I think Resurrection is the one where I feel like okay, people are really gonna hate me for this, all right? But people really dislike Resurrection for a lot of reasons, and I kind of could, I could understand like why, because it is kind of cheesy in some ways, and there is kind of some weird moments. Um, but it is a different movie. It's a different movie. Um, Compared to the other Halloween films, because we have Michael. You have everyone's everyone's basically going to Michael Myers' house and staying overnight there, as opposed to it being about just babysitters. It's about everybody. They're basically taking a trip and actually staying at his house, as opposed to it's just a little different. It's not like the other films. So I don't know why I like it so much. It's just one of those movies that I could watch over and over. I mean, I like it more honestly. I like that film more than I do Rob Zombie's Halloween films. You know, for some reason I don't know why. That's just me though. I just think Resurrections, it's underrated. It's funny too. Busta Rhymes is pretty funny in it, but yeah, I don't know. I just think it's underrated. It's a great movie. And another thing too, before I get to this next comment here, Lori's death. Okay, yeah, I agree. That was stupid. You know that she was basically killed in Halloween 4. They had said that she got killed in a car crash, I believe, or she got killed in an accident. Well, then years later, like I said, when H2O came around, they brought her back still. And then in Resurrection, they attempted to, kill her. So I get why people hate it. I mean, that's probably the one part that I hate too, that they decided to kill her and all, when she was said to die in a car crash. Like, but then they brought her back and just did it again. Like, so I didn't really understand that part. But it's still a great movie. I think it's like I said, I just think it's underrated. You would think now that Scream 6 is outfit in again. Yep, for sure. I think that there is another, like, I think that they're starting to film this summer. Um, that's what I've heard, anyways. But of course, I've been reading a lot of articles and all that, and I don't know which articles are reliable, you know, because I've been saying that I think Scream 7 won't come out until probably 2025. But I don't know. Maybe it will come out next year, but I don't really know. Like I said, the article that I read just was basically saying that they're going to start filming and all that. So I don't really know how true that all is, but here's the one. After the events of Halloween Resurrection, Michael Myers runs free around Haddonfield. Haunting the survivors of this previous massacre and new generation. Yeah, yeah, like it. While Laurie Strode's son, Lieutenant Chavez, had his Yep, yep, I like that, man. Definitely, 100% agree. And by the way, like, what's your theories about um Laurie's son? Like, where has he been? Because we all know he hasn't died. I wonder where, like, what he's been doing. Like, what's your theories on that? Because I don't really know where he's been. Because obviously we know he didn't die, so he could still come back. But yeah, the new Halloween. Well, yeah, Halloween Resurrection is just one of those movies. Like I said, it's just one of those movies that you can just watch over and over. Like, I don't know why. Like, I don't know why I feel like that, or why I like it that damn much. But it's just one of those movies that you can watch over and over. Like the kills and all that. It's just the kills probably weren't that great. Okay, I'll give you that. But it's still a great movie, you know? Like, I don't know. I just like the style of it. I like the way, they're basically staying at Michael's house and all that. It's not like the other movies. Like H2O, took place in a mansion, which I like that film as well. And by the way, I actually got a question for you. Which movie do you like the most? Which movie do you think is overall better, H2O or Resurrection? Because H2O is a great film, but I also like Resurrection. Can't give too much better than explain it in the film. He's been hiding in Europe after the events of H2O. Yep. Oh, okay. That's pretty good explanation there, or good theory, somewhat, that he could be in Europe. So also in H2O Thailand, Lori fakes her death in a car crash in 97. Not death led had a Michael. Oh, okay. So she faked her death. So she faked her death to flee Haddonfield and escape Michael. Okay. So they didn't kill her off screen. Basically, she faked her own death. Okay, well, that makes a lot more sense. Because I thought they killed her off screen for some reason. Like, I don't know why I thought that, but a lot of people were saying that. But that makes a lot of sense. That that's what happened. Okay, yeah. And you're thinking of Halloween Forum when she died in a car crash. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Now, was that her? Like, didn't you say she faked her death because she wanted to flee Haddonfield because she knew that Michael was basically that he's still alive even after that fire? I'm also a huge Halloween Resurrection fan as my personal favorite of the friend. Yep, me too, man. I'm with you on that. Like the movie is just like something about it that I just like. Like I don't know what it is, like why I like it so much, but it's one of those movies where I could watch over and over and over again, like, and I have no problem. For some reason, I like it way more. I like it way more than Rob Zombie's films. You know, the Rob Zombie films, yeah, I mean they had, the kills were creative. They're pretty brutal, pretty graphic, but story wise and all that, I prefer Resurrection you know over those, especially the second one. The second Rob Zombie's second film. Well, Halloween 4 and Halloween 6 isn't canon. Oh, okay. So basically, so Halloween 4 and Halloween 6 isn't canon to you. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So they're totally different timelines then. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that they basically had a problem, with Laurie dying in Resurrection, which I understand. That, yeah, I had a problem with it too. When they killed her, decided to kill her, but then years later decided to bring her back still, even after killing her. And just the way it was executed, the way, it was done. I didn't like that part, but the movie, like I said, is a great movie. That's probably the only part that I had a problem with. Other than that, the movie's good. But yeah, I mean, that's really crazy. I did not know that Lori faked her death. That makes a lot of sense. They're saying that she basically died in a car crash, but she actually faked her death to get away from Michael, like all those years. Okay, that makes a lot of sense because basically she knew that he was alive. It was basically she basically knew that Michael was still alive. Well, that makes a lot of sense. The reason Lori died in Resurrection was because Jamie Lee wanted her character. Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of figured that because I actually thought because she didn't really want to do the movies no more. I guess that's what I heard. So she decided she wanted her character to get killed off. That makes a lot of sense. Originally, she was supposed to commit suicide, but her and the writer of Resurrection, Larry Bird, didn't like that idea and rewrote her death sequence into what we got in Resurrection. Oh, I actually heard about that she was supposed to commit suicide originally, but they decided to go with another idea. But yeah, I think there was a point in time when Laurie Strode or Jamie Lee didn't want to do the Halloween films, so that makes a lot of sense. And like I said, she has her own right. She's been doing these movies for a long time. Well, she was in how many movies? I mean, she was in 1978, and then Halloween 2, Halloween H2O, Resurrection, 2018, and then Kills and Ends. So that right there is about 6 films, I believe, or 7 films. So she was in 7 Halloween. She was in 7 Halloween films. That's pretty crazy. I think she's officially going to be done now after Halloween Ends. I think was her last. There's even a scene that got cut where she mentions John while she had back on her. Oh, John Gacy. Yeah, that was John Gacy, the guy dressed as a clown. He was portraying the real life serial killer. John Gacy, the real killer clown. Oh, you're referring to John Tate. Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad. Yeah, I didn't mean because I know that there was a guy imitating John Gacy in the film, so I kind of got confused. Yeah, because I know that John Gacy obviously was a real killer clown, and he used to dress as a clown and all that, like, and there was a guy in Resurrection that was an actor or whatever, a character. There was person imitating him in there in the film. So that's what I thought you meant, but yeah, no, there is a guy. Like I said, that was John Gacy, the guy dressed as a clown in the film. Um, then that's based off of John Gacy, the real serial killer. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting, and I don't really know when the next Halloween movie is gonna come out because I'm thinking that we probably won't get it for at least another 5 years at least, or a few more years at least. I don't know, but that's basically where um, but I'm very interested in like when is it gonna come out? When are we gonna get another Halloween? Because we all know that there's gonna be another a new timeline. Oh, the actor who played Harold Gus Lynch, who has the mental patient dressed up as the clown, passed away in 2014. Unfortunately, oh, that's sad, man. That's sad. But yeah, he was the actor that was um dressed up as John Gacy in Resurrection. But yeah, man, Halloween. The main question is when is it gonna come back, and when are we gonna get another film? And I'm thinking, like I said, in a few more years or so, or a lot of people have a lot of feelings about it. A lot of people got a lot of feelings about, you know, Halloween returning. People feel like Michael Myers should just stay dead because he basically got thrown into that machine, chopped him up basically, and all. And people don't feel like he should, that he should survive that. But and I kind of understand that, but you have to have some kind of continuation. You know, you have to have some kind of continuation. You can't just quit making the movies. Especially if these movies are, making you a lot of money. There's a lot of fans out here. They're not gonna, to me, they're not gonna just quit making the movies. They're gonna keep on continuing. I mean, I don't know if at one point they'll quit making it. I don't think that's possible. I don't know if that's possible because franchises usually don't. I mean, I'll say this: it's very possible that they could quit making it, but then make like a TV series or something. Because a TV series, I've been hearing, a lot of rumors about the TV series. Like they're making a Friday the 13th TV series. I heard that they could be making a Nightmare on Elm Street as well. So if they do quit making these movies, they're definitely going to have a TV series. After these movies are basically when they quit making them, because we all know there is going to be a point in time where they do quit making them totally. I'm pretty sure. And they're not gonna. I don't think. Like I said, yeah, people are gonna keep continuing to make fan films and all that. Same with the Friday the 13th. People are continuing to make fan films. So I guess that's not really gonna hurt, us not having a movie because somebody could always just make a fan film or whatever. When they do quit making these movies, because I'm pretty sure there is gonna be a time, when they're not gonna make the movies no more, and they're basically going to be making like a TV series, which I guess I'll be okay with. I mean, I don't mind that, but I mean, they did that with Scream, so fell from rock climbing. Oh man, that's that's not good. We're getting something by 20. Oh yeah, for sure. I think we may get something maybe in 2026. Honestly, um, 2026, 2027, around there. But yeah, it's very interesting what direction they're going to decide to go in, because we know that they're probably more than likely going to do another timeline. And I've been saying it. I really would like to see a sequel to Halloween 4 or something. But yeah, and another thing too is like the main question is Rob Zombie gonna come back and make another movie, or is he gonna quit? Is he gonna just leave it alone? Because I feel like at this point, even if he does in the future, which I don't think that he will, I'm just saying if he does, it'll probably be in another like 10 years or so. But as of right now, I don't think that he's gonna make another Halloween film. Because I honestly think he should just stay away from the Halloween films as a whole, just because I feel like he ruined the movies. With the story, Halloween, the first film, then the second film. The second film, I don't know what happened. I think that movie was just a lot worse to me than the first film. Um, the second film was just a little overboard. Like I had so much of a like it was the way they portrayed, Dr. Loomis and all that was just absolutely dirty in my opinion. Um, Dr. Loomis to me was never like that. He was never dark. He was never an evil person like that. Like, and I understand that you're doing your own remake, and John Carpenter basically gave you, permission, to do whatever, but man, that's one thing you can't do. You can't make Dr. Loomis evil like that, 'Cause that made him look like a straight dickhead in that movie. Like, if you go back and watch the other movies, the older ones, he was never like that. Never evil. I'm not a fan of his films. Yeah, I'm not either. Like, okay, like the kills are good and all, but I'm still not a fan of his films. Like his films. Well, I never watched any of his other films. I only watched the Halloween ones that he did. So I only watched the two Halloween films that he made. So I don't really know about any of his other ones. But I'm personally not a fan. I will say that the first. I will say that the first Halloween film. Okay, so the first Rob Zombie Halloween film was better than the second one. I'll say it was definitely better than the second one. The first one was definitely a lot better. The second one, like I said, just went overboard. You know, I mean, the second one was okay, I guess, but it wasn't. Like I said, Daniel Harrison, did a good job, obviously, in it, and Brad Dourif. They're probably like the only ones that really, carried the film. But the second one, the second movie, I don't know, man. The first one I feel is a lot better, but Daniel Harris, like I said, carried both films, in my opinion, and obviously Brad Dourif, you know, they carried both of the films. They always do great. It was just the actor who played Dr. Loomis, the actor who played Laurie. I don't know, just not for me, I guess. And another thing is too is that they made Laurie look like they made her like a drug addict and all that. I mean, she was never even like that in the older Halloween films. She was never a drug addict. She was never. So I don't understand that. Like, Maybe she had like a little bit of problems. Like in Resurrection, she was in a mental institution, I believe. But that's basically it. But she never got into drugs or I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. She never did drugs, never did bad things throughout the older Halloween movies. Like, I'm just being honest. Maybe she had some kind of PTSD or whatever from, Michael Myers and all that, and kind of like similar to Sydney, how Sydney had, PTSD from Ghostface, seeing her mom and all that in Scream 3, Okay, that's understandable. I understand that, but you went overboard and made her a drug addict. And she's basically partying throughout like the whole movie. When in the original movie, she never was even like that. Like, so I don't even understand what you're trying to say or what you're trying to do, It doesn't make any sense. Like, same with Dr. Loomis. Dr. Loomis was never evil. He was never evil. If you go back and watch the older films, yeah, that's my only problem with it. I mean, other than that, everything else, like the kills and all that, and were pretty good. But that's basically like my only problem. My only problem with it, and I'd much rather Rob Zombie just stay away from the films. I'd much rather him do his own thing, do whatever, do something, just do something else. Don't come back to the Halloween films because I've had enough. Seriously, I think everybody has. Nobody wants to see another mediocre film. Okay, Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was just terrible. Can't even imagine what Halloween, his. If he made another film, I can't imagine how bad that film will be. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like I understand that people like it, Um, but we are gonna be looking. 1 minute here. Okay, 1 minute here. Um, let's see real quick if there's any news as of late. Actually, I'm actually going to look at the news about Friday the 13th because Friday the 13th, I heard, um, Friday the 13th, The Awakening. Oh, yeah, that's a fan film. There's another fan film coming out called The Awakening Vengeance Part 2. And I thought that movie was pretty good. Um, when I watched it, I thought it was, it felt like a real film when I watched it. It was obviously about Elias Voorhees, which is um, Jason's father. He's basically getting revenge for his son and all that. And he's actually played by C.J. Graham, I believe his name is. C.J. Graham was the stunt man that played Jason in, I think, in Friday the 13th Part 6, I believe. I think I'm right. Friday the 13th Part 6. He played um, Jason. He did the stunt work or whatever. So I don't know if you guys heard this news here. So it's been revealed that a Friday the 13th film reboot is in works alongside the upcoming Peacock television series. It was previously announced that the upcoming Peacock series Crystal Lake would be reviving the Friday the 13th franchise. Now it appears that a Friday the 13th movie reboot is also in development. So that's very, very um, interesting there. That we're basically getting a TV series. So that's what I'm saying about Halloween. If Halloween if we don't get another movie, let's just say this is going to be the last film, the last film, which I highly doubt it. But I'm just saying in the near future, they might consider doing a TV series. You know, just like Friday the 13th, like Scream. Part 6 is my favorite Friday the 13th. Oh yeah, C.J. Graham did really good. Like his stunt work is just like, of course, yeah, I prefer Kane Hodder over him, but I still like C.J. Graham for he does pretty good. He's definitely probably my second favorite behind Kane Hodder. So yeah, there's a new fan film coming out called Friday the 13th, The Awakening, which that's very, very interesting. It's actually Vengeance Bloodlines Part 2, which it's obviously, if you haven't watched the first one, I suggest you go watch that because the first one was pretty good. Obviously about Elias and Jason, but Elias is basically Jason's father. Um, And like I said, it's funny because that's funny because CJ Graham played Jason, but now in this fan film he's basically playing Jason's father. So I think he may be playing both, but I'm not sure how that works because I think there's ways to do that, like camera work, good camera work, and all that, to make it look, to make him Jason and also make him. But I'm not 100%. That may be. But yeah, it's very very interesting. You know, very interesting. Very interesting. Um, but yeah, Scream. And somebody asked me a question about like Rob Zombie potentially like doing other films in terms of like Leatherface. Um, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Um, Friday the 13th, because those films kind of fit his style. I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre fits his style quite a bit, you know. But yeah, it's definitely and even Friday the 13th, like I said, Jason's a pretty brutal killer. So and by the way, speaking of Friday the 13th, I'm actually wearing a Friday the 13th T-shirt. I can't. I don't know if you got. There you go. See? Friday the 13th T-shirt right there. I'm wearing it. Like I said, I have a whole bunch of merch. I'm not I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, like a big fan of it, but um, I do, however, like it. It's my third favorite, franchise. So I do like it, and I am a fan. I do have merch, but I got a lot. I got a lot of Scream stuff, and I got some Michael Myers shirts too. So excuse me. Um, but yeah, I've been very very interested in. I got the Scream Factory box set, Friday the 13th, and my movie covered here. Um, and I was trying to actually get the Halloween box set, but couldn't get that because they were sold out. So I bought them all separately still, but they just Scream Factory just does this, they just do a great job with their um, box sets and their designs and all that. And I kind of wish that I would have got a Halloween one, because I've seen that they actually had made a Halloween one, like, but I wonder if Scream Factory would be willing to do a. I wonder if they would be willing to do a box set like of Scream or something in the future. Because I've been thinking about like the cool designs and all that, like that they can do, with Ghostface and all that. I think that if they do make a box set, it'll probably be at least. It'll probably more than likely be, I would say, around after Scream 7 is released or whatever, when Scream 7 comes out, on DVD officially and all that. And they're going to wait probably until Scream 7 is released and all that. And then when it comes out in DVD, of course, you're better off waiting until the seventh movie comes out, and then you can make a box set. But I've been wondering, like, because I've always thought this, and I don't know if you think this, but I always thought that Friday the 13th, I always thought that, like, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies and the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, they never got enough love, in my opinion. They've never gotten enough love in terms of, like, designs and all that. Like, it seems like Friday the 13th and the Halloween films are, like, the most. It seems like they have the most, like, designs. Like, they have the cooler designs. And it's probably just because they're probably the most, probably like the biggest. I guess I would say probably the biggest. Like, probably sold a lot more DVDs than But like I said, Halloween and Friday the 13th, yeah, they're great films. They're iconic films. But so is Nightmare on Elm Street and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, so it's kind of boggles my mind that they didn't make a better box set of the Nightmare films, because the Nightmare. Okay, 1 minute, I'll show you, because I do not have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I do have the Nightmare on Elm Street one, which you'll probably. I'll give like a comparison here. Okay, so I'm gonna give you all like a little comparison. I got a Friday the 13th. 1 minute. I gotta get up for a minute, and I'm gonna go get that real quick and show you guys. Um, okay, I'm back. So I'm basically gonna be showing you guys real quick. I'm gonna show you like what I mean. Okay. 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 So you guys can see So first things first, I'm going to show you the Friday the 13th box set, which you guys already seen that, I'm sure. It's this the Screen Factory right here. I don't know if you guys see that. It's kind of like fading out a little bit for some reason. There we go. But yeah, so you got that, right? It's got all the movies in it. Then you go to this one, you look at this one. What the hell is that? You see what I'm saying? Like, they're totally different. Like, Nightmare on Elm Street doesn't really have that good of a box set. Like, it looks kind of like boring, you know? Like, I don't know what it is. But yeah, it's just kind of like boring looking. Like, so I don't know what it is, honestly. But yeah, it seems like they always treated the Friday the 13th and Halloween films like a lot better. I mean, how many movies does? Let's see how many movies this box set has, because okay, so this box set has 5 movies. So I think 5. So yeah, it has 5 movies. One, 2, 4, 5. Yep, 5. Okay, so 5 discs in here. And that's the best you could come up with. But the box set, especially Nightmare on Elm Street, that's the best you could come up with. Like, what the design wise and all that. Like, compared to this Friday the 13th box set, it looks nothing like it. Like, it's, it's kind of boring looking. And of course, I still watch the Nightmare films. But I'm just saying, it's like totally different. Like design wise, like it's not even close to this Friday the 13th. Like I said, this Friday the 13th, it just looks so much better. I don't know what it is. Why? Like, I don't know what it is, but it looks nothing alike. And I can even show you guys a picture of So I can actually show you guys a picture of this Halloween one. Which, this Halloween one, you guys are going to really be crazy. You guys are going to really think. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have it. A lot of you guys have, this box set. How's it going, Craven? How you doing, man? I'm just basically I was just basically showing everybody like the difference between like the Scream Factory box set and then compared to this Nightmare box set. Like, so tell me what you absolutely think here, because this box set right here, okay, like I was just saying that they're totally different. Like for some reason, I feel like they always make the Halloween ones and the Friday the 13th ones a little like a lot better, like design wise. Like, so this one right here is obviously Friday the 13th, right? So that design looks stunning, right? It looks good. The designs on there look awesome. But you go to this one, Nightmare on Elm Street, and that's basically it. So I don't know. I said that Nightmare on Elm Street deserves a lot more credit. Like, they deserve a better box set, better design than that. That's the best they could come up with. Like that's what personally me, and like same with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like those box sets are just they're just not really that. Like I don't know. They don't look that good. They don't. They're not as good as the Halloween and the Friday the 13th box set for some reason. Like they're totally different, like design wise. So I don't know if that I don't know what that is, but I think that Nightmare on Elm Street's a great franchise. Personally, like, but it deserves a better it deserves a better box set. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre is pretty underrated. He just stopping by to say hello. I just stay along bad. Oh, okay. I totally agree with that. Yeah, yeah. I just think that Nightmare on Elm Street's pretty. It's a great franchise. Like I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of it, but I do like it. Same with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre actually came out before the Halloween films did. Before Halloween, I think that came out in 1974, I believe. So I think Leatherface was like the first like icon like to come out way before Michael Myers, Jason, and Freddy. Like, but yeah, and then I was actually gonna show a picture of because I don't have the Halloween Scream Factory box set. Oops. Um, but I don't know if you could see that at all. The design right there. Um, I don't know if you can see that a little bit, but yeah, the designs on that just look so cool. It comes with all the movies in it. And I was actually looking to get that one, but like I said, it was just sold out, sadly. Um, but yeah, I don't know what it is. The Scream Factory just always does a great job. That's why I was just talking about that. They should make a Scream one. And by the way, Craven, I don't know if you're still here, but how do you like my new setup? I'm not like using my phone no more. I actually got like a laptop. But yeah, that's it would be so like cool to see like a new Scream box set, like with all the designs on it, all the um I just can't imagine what kind of designs they would put, on it. Like, but yeah, other than that, man, I was just basically talking about. Yeah, I don't know if you're still here or not, but I was basically talking about Nev Campbell possibly coming back, to Scream and all that. Um, but yeah, I appreciate you popping in. Um, yeah, I think he had to pop in probably for a little, but then he had to leave. But yeah, I mean it's totally different box sets here. I'm gonna put them back real quick so they don't get ruined here. Give me a minute. Ooh, sorry about that. 1 minute, y'all. I'm gonna put this back in the cabinet. Okay, I'm back. Okay, my camera back. There we go. Okay, so but yeah, that's like the totally different, compared. Totally different compared to the. I was basically just watching myself. Um, totally different designs though, like design wise. Like design wise, it just doesn't compare to doesn't compare to the Friday the 13th box set. Like it looks boring. Like for some reason, that's my feeling, my gut feeling. That they intentionally, do that. Like they intentionally, like for some reason, they always treated like Halloween and Friday the 13th like better, which I can kind of understand because yeah, they are big franchises. But to me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is probably the most underrated franchise. It doesn't really get talked about like that much. Like, and actually, I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre was actually the first horror icon to ever. I think he was like the first. But yeah, and I haven't went live, man, in so long, and it's my first time in a long time. But I'm happy to be back. I mean, kind of, a little busy as of late, and also I've been doing a lot of my sports channel. I don't know if you guys know that I actually got a football channel as well. It's called Inside the End Zone, which I actually linked my channel to my actually linked that channel to this channel, so you guys will be able to see it apart attached to this channel. You guys could go subscribe to it, whatever. But yeah, I talk about basically just college football, and we basically just go over, you know, college football and all that. And the football season's almost approaching, so that's why I've been kind of doing a lot of live streams on that because football season. I'm getting more like pumped, but I'm trying to do both. At the same time. But yeah, I just football season's getting closer, and I was just doing a lot of live streams on that channel, and it's because football season's it's getting here. It's gonna be here before we know it. It's gonna be here in a month. So that's what kind of why I haven't really been on this channel as much, but I do. Of course, I'm still gonna post on it because I love talking about horror films and all that. I'm just saying, like, I'm a big football fan, and football season's getting closer. But yeah, I still, post on this, of course. I do like both. But yeah, I'm actually gonna look real quick because I don't think I can post. I think I might be able to post a link into the channel or the might be able to post a link here for the. Well, it's actually a link to this channel, so might be able to post a link here for the. Well, it's actually a link to this channel, so. I was basically just listening to myself on the phone. Um, let's see here. I'm actually gonna go to my channel right now and take a look because I think. 1 minute. Excuse me, I had to mute myself for that because I don't want it to cough in there. But we're gonna be. So yeah, it's actually on there. So if you guys go to my channel, at this very minute right now, you guys will be able to see my channel inside the end zone, which I haven't really been posting videos on it. I've been just doing live streams on it for like right now, like, but I may post more, post more videos if you guys are willing to go subscribe to it, you know. Um, but yeah, I got that channel, and then I also got a conspiracy theory channel where basically just talk about, conspiracies and all that, which is something new that I do on the channel, or something different that I do. Um, I don't have that channel yet on there, but definitely should go check that out. Um, so 6 existing characters for Scream characters who would be perfect as the Ghostface killer in Scream 7. While the Scream series has always introduced new villains in each sequel, plenty of returning characters could turn out to be in Scream 7's Ghostface. And I've always thought, like, like Sam could be like a killer or something. I thought that she would make the most sense over, Kirby and Sydney, because a lot of people think that Kirby and Sydney, could be all of a sudden turn into, a killer. So, while the Scream series usually introduces new characters as each sequel's villains, a handful of the existing series starred would be perfect as Scream 7's Ghostface. 1996 Scream redefined the rules of the slasher subgenre. Before Scream, many of the most successful slasher franchises had instantly recognizable villains, like Halloween's Michael Myers, Nightmare on Elm Street's Freddy Krueger, and Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees. However, Scream fused the slasher formula with tropes borrowed from the murder mystery, and an approach borrowed from the original Friday the 13th director Wes Craven's Scream forced viewers to work out the identity of the movie's mysterious murderer. The Scream sequels continued in this vein, with each movie introducing a slew of new characters who could be the man or woman behind the mask. I'm basically just reading his article here. Okay, so here we go. So Sidney Prescott. So Scream VI didn't include Neve Campbell, Sidney Prescott. Thanks to the actor salary negotiations breaking down during production, this was a shame. but the financial and critical success of Scream 6 means that the creators of the franchise have no excuse not to bring back Sydney in Scream 7. One of the wildest Scream 6 fan theories claims Sydney herself could be Ghostface in the sequel. But this didn't come to pass as Campbell's character didn't appear in the movie, obviously bringing back Sid and making her Scream 7's killer would devastate fans. But that is not necessarily a bad thing in a brutal slasher series. I think that's a pretty bad idea, personally. But Melissa Barrero's likable Sam and the heroine of Scream 5 and Scream 6. So Scream 7 turning her into a killer would be almost as controversial as Sydney being the sequel's villain. However, both Scream 5 and Scream 6 already hinted that Sam has a sadistic edge to her, since she turned out not to be the killer in either of those franchise outings. It could be a solid surprise to reveal that Sam is the villain this time around in Scream 7. Not only that, but the fact that Jenna Ortega has become an A-list star could result in Sam's sister Tara replacing Sam if the heroine was killed off. Scream 7 could also bring back Sam and Tara's mother, but revealing that she is the killer might be a bridge too far. Scream 2 attempted something similar to this when Billy Loomis's mother turned out to be the villain in the sequel, and even a spirited, campy turn from Laurie Metcalf, I can't say her last name, couldn't salvage this unlikely twist. Admittedly, it would be risky to make Sam a villain after both Scream 5 and Scream 6 centered her as her heroine. However, like Sydney becoming a villain in Scream 7, this twist would shock longtime viewers and new fans alike and would prove that the sequel wasn't pulling any punches. Yeah, I think Sam makes the most sense, honestly, but definitely going to be pretty interesting, to say the least. Um, but yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I pressed on a video. But yeah, that's basically um, all that's really come out. I mean, there's a possibility still, of Sydney coming back. It's not ruled out or anything. I mean, she can still come back into the film. Um, it's just a matter of when, or it's a matter if she's gonna want to negotiate. Um, a lot of people are saying that she could be already, negotiating. You know, and I could totally see that as well. I could see that being a possibility given the fact that she's already basically saying she's open to come back as long as they don't kill her. Like, so, but yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting. Um, Nah. Changing the background there. Ooh. Ooh. That looks crazy. That looks great. But no, I like that one. That one's like my favorite. Um, yeah. So I think I don't think anybody's even. Appreciate everybody. All the people that came. Craven, DJ. Thank you guys for popping in. I know there is another live stream coming up here at 8 o'clock. So um, I'm gonna be sure to try to make that, of course. Um, yeah, I've had fun, theorizing all that stuff. I didn't really talk much about Scream 7. My theories. I'll just give it my final thoughts. Okay. So Scream 7, I think it's gonna have like a cult, which I've always believed that rather if it's Stu or not, I think that there is gonna be a cult. Now, if Stu does not come back as a Scream 7, then I don't think he's coming back at all. I think that this is the only opportunity for them to, do it. This is probably the best chance that they have. And it would be kind of disappointing if they decide not to because, as I said, if he doesn't come back, well, am I going to walk out? Am I going to break stuff? No, absolutely not. It's just a movie, but at the same time, I'm going to be, of course, I'm going to be disappointed, like, and this is their best chance, to do it if they're going to do it. Now, if it's not Stu, it's definitely somebody, like I said, that we don't know. Somebody that we never knew, never met. It could be somebody like maybe Christina Carpenter. Maybe Christina Carpenter could be the killer. Maybe Tara and Sam's mom. Maybe he's trying to get revenge. I don't know. Or maybe it's Leslie Mocker, which is Stu's sister, which Stu's sister is basically like a she's basically probably wants revenge, for Vince's death, and she probably wants revenge on she probably wants to get at Sydney for killing Stu. Who really knows? Because if Stu does not come back, I could totally see Leslie Mocker, being in the mix, one way or another. Even if Leslie Mocker, like I said, even if Stu is, I can still see her coming back. Possibly even if Stu comes back, maybe they could both come back, and maybe she could be a part of like his cult or something, and but I just think Leslie Mocker is probably the if I had to guess, that's probably the best. That's probably who it possibly could be. If I'm being truly honest with you, I think that Leslie Mocker could be the one that could be pulling the strings as well, along with Stu. Now, I'm not saying the Stu didn't have anything to do with it or anything. I'm just saying, like, if Stu is not going to be in the movie and he doesn't show up and he unmasked, it's killer unmasked, and it's not him. Well, isn't it safe to say that Leslie Mocker was the one that was doing this all? I mean, Leslie Mocker is not really, she's not really strong or anything to manhandle Dewey, I don't think. That's just my personal opinion. But she doesn't even have to be the one to murder him. I mean, people are saying that Liv did it, but I'm just saying to myself, like if Liv is able to lift up manhandle Dewey like that, well, I guess Leslie Mocker could, I guess too. You know, if that's the case. But I'm not gonna sit here and rule it out about Stu. All I'm saying is that I'm not getting my hopes up because I think Leslie Mocker is probably the main. I think she's more. I think it's more possible that she returns. I think that if Stu doesn't return, it's definitely going to be Leslie. It definitely could be Leslie, either that or Christina Carpenter. One of those two. But I think Leslie Mocker is probably like the best. The best option, if Stu was to save Matthew Lillard, decides not to come back, and if he decides to say, well, you guys did, Sydney dirty or whatever, and I don't know what his feelings are about that still. I don't know if he still feels like crap. And I don't know if he's still mad at him for that so I don't really know if he's still willing to come back, but if he's not, well, I think your only option really is, I think Leslie Mocker, bring his sister in the mix. She'd be really like the only option at that point. If Matthew Lillard decided not to come back. So. So yeah, I definitely think Leslie Mocker is definitely the main, like the person that I think truly, if Stu comes back, I think Leslie Mocker could also come back with him. But if Stu doesn't come back, it possibly could be Leslie Mocker along with, her, whoever, her, let's just say maybe Christina or something. I don't really know, but I think, Leslie Mocker could be a possibility. We thought that she was going to return, Scream 6. But what if it turns out that she's the cult leader and not, and not Stu? But because I think that, like I said, I think Leslie Mocker could still be a part of like the cult, even if Stu's not alive. If Stu's alive, she could be in the cult with Stu. But if Stu's not alive and he's not, if he doesn't come back, I think that Leslie's probably going to be like the real, like the leader, because I just don't think that they're going to bring Stu back. If they don't bring him back in 7, they're definitely not bringing him back at all. Like, that's just my opinion. Like, I think Leslie Mocker is probably like your best option. Because basically she would want revenge for, Vince's death. So who's she going to go after? She's going to go after Sam. And the reason why the connection that she has with Sam is that Sam was actually with Richie, and Richie was the one that killed Vince. So that would be a reason to go after Sam. And that would be the reason why. Um, and also, her being the daughter of Billy Loomis would probably be another reason. But I think more than likely, like I said about Stu, I think it makes the most sense for Stu. I think it makes the most sense for Stu to come back and go after Sydney. And Leslie Mocker is the cult leader. Well, I think it makes more sense for her to go after Sydney as opposed to going after just Sam. Because we got to think about this, all right? If Stu comes back, how stupid is it going to look when he goes after Sam and he doesn't go after Sydney, you know? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't look right to me. So that's why honestly think that it would make more sense for, him to go after, Sydney as opposed to Sam, because Sam doesn't really have a connection to him other than that, that she's, Billy's daughter. And that's basically it. So I just think that it makes the most sense for him to go after Sydney because Sydney was the one that threw the TV on him from the get-go. So of course he's gonna want revenge on her, more than anything. So I just think that makes the most sense. I don't think it makes sense for him to go after Sam. I'm just being honest with you. I think Leslie Mocker would probably go after Sydney as well. Like, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I definitely think Sam would definitely. I think Leslie Mocker would probably go after both. But I think Sydney would probably be like her main target because Sydney threw the TV on Stu, so she would want revenge for that. But yeah, I just think it's a possibility. And I also think on the flip side of things, I think another thing that's possible is that Stu was the one that was calling Richie on the phone. When Sam was basically saying, that's for you and all this and that. When the phone was ringing, it was obviously an unknown caller. Well, I truly believe, I'm theorizing here a little bit. I think that Stu was the one to call Richie on the phone. He was the one to call him on the phone because I think it sounded like he was upset that that he killed Vince, his nephew. So he sounded upset, that he killed his nephew, Vince. So that's just my theory. A lot of people are, don't believe in that theory, but I think that theory is more plausible. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's plausible, Um, yeah, I think he was the one that honestly attacked, Tara as well in the opening scene. And the reason why I do because Richie was on vacation. So if Richie was on vacation, how was he at Tara's house? And also, if Amber was at her house during that time doing her hair and all that, how was she able to be at Tara's house? So you got to ask that question. So if it wasn't Richie, and if it wasn't Amber there, right? Who else could that have been? The height, the height of this ghost face. I looked at the height, and the height looks awfully similar to Stu. A lot of people say, he's a little taller than Stu. I don't care what anybody says, but this ghost face is taller. Like, he's bigger. You know what I mean? He's a lot bigger. He seems like a big person, like, and that's why I don't think if Richie was on vacation and if Amber was at her house, that's why I truly do believe that Stu was attacked. He was the one that attacked Tara, because who else could it have been if it wasn't Richie nor Amber? I mean, it could have been anybody that. It could have been somebody that we don't know, but maybe somebody like Leslie Mocker as well. But Leslie Mocker, we don't even know how big she is. Leslie Mocker, to me, I'm sorry, but Leslie Mocker is not able to throw. She is not able to throw Dewey around like a rag doll like that. She's not able to manhandle him. Okay, I'm sorry. He's just not. She's just not. Okay? And if she did, well, I'm sorry. That's just unrealistic to me because she's a girl. Nothing against girls. But girls are not as strong as boys, in my opinion. So I don't think that's realistic. I think it makes more sense for, Stu to be able to manhandle Dewey than, over Leslie, because Leslie's a girl. And once again, no disrespect to girls, but it's just common sense, What's up, everyone? I smashed the like button for getting out from streaming the chat. Happy Wednesday morning. Thank you, Russell. How you doing, man? Thank you for popping in. I'm basically just talking about, Scream 7 theories, talking about, Leslie Mocker possibly being in Scream 7. I'm basically talking about, like, if it's not Stu, then it's definitely probably going to be, Leslie, which Leslie Mocker is probably like the main person, that I was thinking of. Ghostface Fanatic. What's up, man? How you doing? But yeah, I was basically talking about, Leslie Mocker and the theory about her, possibly getting revenge on, on Sam and also, Sydney for killing, because I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I do not believe for a second that Leslie Mocker would be able to kill Dewey in that fashion like that. I think Stu is more likely to do that than Leslie, because Stu is a man, and of course he's going to be able to manhandle, Dewey like that. And Leslie's a girl, but does not mean that Leslie's not a part of it either, because they both. I would be down, for both of them to be a part of it. Maybe Stu and Leslie both are in it together. Maybe she's a part of his cult and he's like the leader. I mean, I would be okay with that. I mean, I think it's both of them. Yep, me too. I think it's. But if Stu doesn't come back, I think it's just going to be Leslie. But if Stu does come back, I think it could be both. Maybe Leslie is a part, like I said, of his cult or something like that. Maybe You know, it could have been Stu and Leslie. I don't know about that. I mean, how could it have been both? I mean, it could. It was either. I think it was one of the two. I think it was either Stu or Leslie, which I think it was Stu. Leslie probably pulled the strings. You know, but I don't really know how they both could have killed him. And the reason why I don't know how is because well, I don't think because Amber wasn't anywhere. She wasn't even around, right? So I think that could be a possibility. Either that or Liv, because Liv was actually. There's a lot of theories saying that she was one, like the third killer, like one of the killers. But then she just got killed off, and we never knew basically that she was one of the killers. Um, but I think Leslie Mocker makes the most sense. I think Leslie Mocker makes a lot of sense. Maybe her and Stu both helping each other. That could be a possibility. Because there's a lot of times where you see Ghostface basically teleporting. For a minute, he was outside, and all of a sudden he got inside somehow. Like, but yeah, it's definitely possible. I always thought, Leslie Mocker. I always thought Leslie Mocker like made the most sense, like outside of Stu. It could be either or, it could be both. But I always thought like Leslie Mocker would be like a good person to come back, like a good. Yeah, I agree. But it was Stu. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it was Stu that killed because I don't think Leslie, as I was explaining, I don't think Leslie would be able to manhandle Dewey because she's a girl. And like I said, nothing against girls, but realistically, men are stronger than girls, so men are able to do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And it seemed like this Ghostface is basically manhandling him like nothing. So that's what I'm saying. But not to say that Leslie Mocker is not a part of none of it, because she could very well be a part of it. Maybe I'm gonna guess it right now. Okay, I think it's gonna be possibly be Stu, Leslie Mocker, um, Christina Carpenter. I think those three right there are one of the three, probably one of the probably the cult leader. There may be four, there may be five, but I think four would be pretty cool. Do you think Scream 7 is the last one? I think it'll be probably the last one for a while. I think we'll have to probably wait, like how we have to wait for this new Halloween movie. We'll probably have to wait at least another 5 years or so down the line, for another one to come out, because then they're going to begin like probably a new timeline and all that. So no, I don't think it's going to be the last, but I do think it'll be the last for like right now. Like after this film, I don't think they're like we're gonna have to wait. Like I said, either 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, for another one. Like, so it'll probably be a while, until we get another one. You know, kind of like with the Halloween film, we're probably gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait for another one. Because obviously Halloween Ends was like the last. Wasn't the like the end? It wasn't like the end. It was just the end of the timeline. That timeline. So maybe that's what they're going with. Maybe this trilogy is going to be the end of this timeline. And then they're going to move on to a new timeline. In the future, and probably another like 5 years or so. Like, yeah, true. Then it could be the last for this trilogy. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's going to be the last of the like this timeline. And then maybe it'll be similar to how Scream 3, after Scream 3, we had to wait like 10 years. Could be sooner, though, like until we get another one. But yeah, I definitely think that we're going to probably have to wait, you know, after this trilogy. We're definitely probably going to have to wait, another 5 years or so down the line to get a new movie. Like, so. Like when Halloween Ends, that was basically the last. And I don't even know how long we're gonna have to wait until we get another, Halloween film. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be. It's gonna be interesting, man. I hope they learn from mistakes in Halloween Ends, because Scream could be a great franchise. No offense, Halloween. Yeah, Halloween Ends was just totally this a disastrous film. I find it to be an embarrassment. You know, I think it's probably the most. I think it's the worst like movie in the franchise without a doubt. Well, I actually think Halloween 3 is probably the worst, just because Michael wasn't in it. But I think this one takes the cake. This one's like up there with that, like, you know, because at least Michael was in this movie, but this movie was absolutely just disastrous. Like, you know, Corey Cunningham was basically just thrown into the movie basically for no reason, like whatsoever. Like, yeah, no build up, no nothing. Like, just thrown into the movie. honestly think, Scream 6 is way better than Halloween Ends. You know, I prefer Scream 6 over Halloween Ends. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't really care for it, like, because it's a Halloween film. If they would have named it something else, okay, I would have been fine with that. But they decided to name it, you know, Halloween. And on top of that, not adding Michael Myers in it, you know, that's basically my problem. It's a Halloween film. Everybody is expecting to see the character, Michael Myers in the movie, like, you know. But if he's not in it, well then that's not a Halloween film to me. That's just my opinion. Yeah, they could have called it, just Season of the Witch, or just there's a lot of other names out there. I think Season of the Witch would have been good. I mean, there was no reason, because I think that was the only that's the only part that I absolutely hate, is that they named it Halloween. It was a Halloween film, but Michael wasn't in it. But they called it as basically a Halloween film still, while not having Michael in it. Like, so that's basically why I don't like it. Because what's the point of a Halloween movie if you're not going to have, the character in the movie? You know, everybody's expecting, to see him in the movie. Everybody's paying the money to see him, in the movie. So I don't. That's really the main reason why, I don't like it. And then also, the Halloween song or whatever, the on the TV, the Shamrock series, the Shamrock commercial or whatever. That just, oh my god, that got on my nerves. I'm sorry, that got on my nerves. That Shamrock commercial, oh my god, bro. Like, kept on playing over and over and over. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, this shit's just so annoying. Like, if Tom Atkins wasn't in it, I would have watched it. A Great Legend. I wouldn't have watched it. All Tom Atkins, yeah, I don't know who that is, but I know he was. I guess he was probably in Halloween 3, right? But yeah, man, that Shamrock series song was just annoying. It kept on playing it over and over, and then on top of that, Michael Myers wasn't even in it. Like, it's like we want to see Michael Myers kill. We don't want to have to keep listening to the Shamrock commercial. Like, that's just my problem with it. They didn't add Michael Myers in it or nothing. And on top of that, that Shamrock. All you hear is that Shamrock commercial. Annoying. That's all I can say. Yeah, a lot of people compare that movie to, Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell. Which Jason Goes to Hell wasn't really a Friday the 13th, you know. It really wasn't a Friday the 13th film because, yeah, well, Jason was in it, for a little bit. So I'll give it credit for that, for him being in it at least for a little bit. So I do find that movie to be better than Halloween 3 because Halloween 3, again, didn't have Michael in it at all. So which one would you prefer to watch? I mean, I would prefer to watch Jason Goes to Hell because at least he was in it for, the first, even if it was just for 5 minutes. He ends up coming back at the end, but you still see the character, like, so that makes a difference. That song was annoying. Yeah, it was that Shamrock series or the Shamrock song. Like it just kept on repeating. Like it was just like, oh my gosh, bro, this. We want to see Michael Myers. We want to see him kill. We want to see the character. We don't want to hear Shamrock, the Shamrock commercial over and over and over. Like nobody wants to hear that. Everybody's trying to watch Michael Myers do his thing. Like Jason didn't deserve that at the beginning of it. Yeah, no, he didn't. That's what I'm saying. But at least he was in the movie, though. That's why when people ask me like, which one do I prefer? I think I prefer, Jason Goes to Hell over Halloween 3, just because at least Jason Goes to Hell, he was in it. We got to see him. Even like at the end. But yeah, that movie was just cheesy on itself too. Like I think that's probably the worst Friday the 13th film. First of all, I don't even think it was a Halloween, or I don't even think it was a Friday the 13th film because you don't have the character in it. You have him in there for 5 minutes, but then kill him off, and then don't bring him back until the end. Basically, he's possessing people and all that. It's not really him. It's not the character like a lot of people say it is, but I don't think it is. Because even if he was possessing people and getting inside of people and all that, to me, that's not really the character. Because it's not like they're wearing the mask, or it's not like they have a machete and all that. Like, so it's just a big difference, I love Jason Lives over Jason. Oh yeah, Jason Lives. Yes, that's the one that I like. I even like Jason goes. I like Jason Goes to Manhattan, or Jason Takes Manhattan more than Jason Goes to Hell, because at least that movie was creative, and the kills are creative, and he was in the whole movie, even despite it not being in Crystal Lake, still thought it was a pretty good movie. I think Jason Takes Manhattan's probably the most like underrated. But yeah, Jason Lives, TJ Graham, did a great job. I just think, Kane Hodder was just wasted, and Jason Goes to Hell. Like, I just think he was wasted. If Jason was in the whole movie and Jason Goes to Hell, I probably would have liked it even more than Jason Takes Manhattan. But since since Jason wasn't in it that much, that's kind of why I choose Jason Takes Manhattan over Jason Goes to Hell, or else it would be the opposite. I'd probably choose because I like Jason Takes Manhattan, like the look of Jason in that movie, but I also like Jason Goes to Hell's look. The Jason in that movie looked absolutely just his look was badass. The look of him was badass. I think so. If he was in the movie and if he was utilized, better, and Jason Goes to Hell, well, I probably would have preferred that over Jason Takes Manhattan. But Jason Takes Manhattan is better in my opinion than Jason Goes to Hell because Jason wasn't in the movie as I just said. So. But I don't even think Takes Manhattan's a bad movie. Like, I think it's an underrated movie. My favorite Halloween is Halloween 4, besides the first one. Oh yeah, Halloween 4 is first. Halloween 4 is like my favorite. I think that Michael Myers is like my favorite look. Halloween 4 is Michael Myers is like my favorite. Like the look of him in that film is just my favorite. I think it's an underrated look, honestly. The only one I didn't like was, Halloween 5. Halloween 5 to me was just terrible. Like the look of Michael Myers. I mean, I didn't mind the movie. The movie was good. It was just, the mask. The mask was. They would have just brought the mask from Halloween 4 and brought it into Halloween 5. I would have been okay with that. But Halloween 5, the only thing I don't like is the mask. I like the movie. The movie's good. It's just like the mask, That's the only problem that I have with it. But yeah, Halloween 4 is like my favorite look. My favorite. And Michael Myers is like my favorite. Like the look of him in that movie is like so underrated in my opinion. Yeah. I still watch Halloween 5. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean Halloween 5 is a good film. It's a great film. I don't have a problem with it. It's just like the mask that kind of ruined it a little. But I don't mind the movie. Like I'll still watch it, of course. But yeah, other than that, I just won't. I don't know if the mask was a little better. If they would have brought the Halloween 4 mask, into it, I would have been. That would have been better, But the story, like I said, great. It's awesome. I have no problem with Halloween 5. The only problem was the mask. The only one I don't have is Ends. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, Halloween Ends. I mean, I'm probably still gonna get it just because I have a collection. And if you don't have all the movies, you know, your collection is not really complete. without all of them. But you have to have all of them, every single one. Even if despite me not liking it, it's a part of the franchise, and you want to collect all the movies. You have to have it in your collection. But yeah, man, Halloween ends. It's like I say about Scream Six. Like I think I'm about to get that in DVD, which I think Scream Six comes out. I think it comes out in a few weeks. It may already be out because if it is, yeah, it will be a while. Yeah, probably me too. I'm not sure. I know I'm gonna get Scream Six and DVD. Um, oh, it is out. Shoot, I'm about to order my copy right now. Um, yeah, it's out. It's been out actually. I think since I don't even know when it came out. I think it came out probably last week or so. Oh wow, they had this came out today, the 11th. Oh, yesterday, yeah, because today is the 12th. Well, that's very interesting. And they even have this 6 movie collection box set that I didn't even see. It's got like all 6 movies all in one. But yeah, yesterday, yep. No, it's all right. Yeah, I kind of got confused too, but I realized today is the July the 12th. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna buy the DVD of Scream Six because I was thinking about maybe one day, maybe someday down the line, I'll probably get like all 6 all together, like in one like box. But for now, I think I'm just gonna stick with what I got. Okay, so it will come. Okay, so actually, alrighty. Well, I got it ordered. Um, so yeah, I'll be shipping. Probably I'll be getting it. So I'll be getting it by next week sometime. But yep, I already have Scream 5. I got all the Screams, you know. So I'm looking forward to the Flood movie. You know, oh, I never heard of that movie. Well, alrighty, Russell. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for all the support. Craven, DJ, thank you guys. You know, for all the support that you guys show. Um, I'm gonna be signing off here. Been going for a little bit, so been going for like 2 hours now. So I think I'm gonna be signing off here. I hope you guys have a great day, great rest of your night. I think I'm gonna try to go make nights live stream. So I'll see you later, Russell. Have a great night, man. And hopefully, I might see you probably night's stream of the Night Watch Zone. If you're gonna be there, but I'm not sure if you're gonna be making it or not. But if you do happen to be there, I'll probably show up in the chat. So um, be sure to hit the like button as always. And that being said, see you later, everyone.